Sir, you are our guest, and it's our responsibility to take care of our guests. I heard those words after I injured my wrist at Sentosa Island in Singapore. I had made the mistake, yet the way they responded taught me an unforgettable lesson about care, responsibility, and accountability. This episode is in context of my previous episode of accountability lessons I learned from public systems in America. And in this episode, I will share 5 lessons I learned from a similar incident in Singapore. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and don't forget to like and share. Welcome to Inner Quest Healing Talks, conversations for stress to bliss. I'm your host, Ravindra Murthy. Some of life's most powerful lessons come when we least expect them. Today's story takes me back to 1st January 2014 when my family and my friend Ram's family were vacationing in Singapore. What began as a fun evening at Sentosa Island ended with an injured wrist, an ambulance ride, a visit to Singapore General Hospital, and an experience in public responsibility that has stayed with me ever since. Alright, so it was 1st January 2014. My family and my friend Ram's family were vacationing together in Singapore. That morning, we visited Sentosa Island. We spent the day enjoying different attractions and rides. In the evening, we wanted to watch the famous Songs of the Show on the beach. It was supposed to be a spectacular nighttime show combining water jets, laser projections, music, and live performances. However, Ram's family was tired after the day's activities and decided to return back. But my wife and daughter wanted to stay back for the show, and so we did. We had about an hour before it started, and by that time we had completed most of the attractions included in our package, but there were a few that we had skipped, and one of them caught my attention, the Segway ride. So for those who haven't experienced a Segway, it's actually a two-wheeled self-balancing personal vehicle. You lean forward to move forward, you lean back to slow down, and essentially use your body to control your balance and movement. The attraction had a small track where we could learn how to balance and steer the Segway. My wife and I decided to try it. We finished our first round. Oh, it was fun. And more importantly, I was confident riding the Segway. Ram had also given us some additional coupons, so we decided to take another ride. That was when confidence turned slowly into overconfidence. Yeah, my confidence turned into overconfidence, and I thought, now I know this and I know how to ride this better. So I leaned forward a little more to experience some extra speed. The Segway accelerated, and by mistake, I leaned further and lost my balance as it speeded even further, and I fell down. Immediately, I felt something was wrong. I fell on my wrist and hurt my left wrist. Immediately, the pain became intense. I abandoned the Segway and called for help. The staff came over and sprayed some pain relief medication, but the pain was not reducing. I could not comfortably let my left hand hang down as normal, and I felt something was wrong. And for a moment, we considered cancelling our plans and leaving immediately. But we had waited all day long to see Songs of the Sea show, so we decided to stay back. I took my belt and made it a sling and used it to support my left arm, and that gave me some temporary relief. And somehow, with my injured wrist supported by my belt, we watched the spectacular show. After the show, we headed towards the train that would take us back towards Harbourfront Station in Singapore. Because it was New Year's Day, there was a huge crowd, and by this time my wrist had swollen considerably. The pain had become unbearable. Looking at the crowd, I realized that waiting for a long time would be extremely difficult. So I approached one of the train station officers. I explained that I had injured my wrist at the Segway attraction and asked whether my family and myself could be allowed early to board the train. The officer looked at my wrist, then asked exactly what happened. I narrated the entire incident, and his response surprised me. "Sir, you are our guest." The officer immediately took me to an open area and asked me to sit down and rest. He called the first aid team. They came and wrapped my wrist with bandage. I explained to him, "It was my mistake, sir. I lost my balance while riding the Segway." But he responded with words I've never forgotten. "Sir, you are our guest, and it is our responsibility to take care of our guests." And then he said something even more surprising. "The staff at the Segway area should have provided proper first aid to you when this accident happened." Since that had not happened, he felt they had not fulfilled their responsibility. He suspected that might have injured or fractured my wrist. And then he said, "We will take you to the hospital." Within minutes, an ambulance arrived. I was asked to lie down on a stretcher. I still remember my wife and daughter were asked to travel with me, and seeing her father being put in an ambulance on a stretcher frightened my daughter, and she started crying. My wife comforted her and sat with her in the front. And then came another surprise. I remember seeing motorcycles escorting the ambulance, and two were in the front of our ambulance and two behind our ambulance. And we were taken as a VIP guest. There was no life-threatening emergency though, yet the seriousness with which they handled the situation really amazed me. For a few moments, I almost forgot about the pain, looking around what's happening and how I was being taken to the hospital. I was simply observing how the entire system had responded to me, an injured visitor. We were taken to Singapore General Hospital near Outram Park. The doctor examined my wrist and ordered an X-ray. The result confirmed that I had suffered a minor fracture. Normally, the wrist would have required a cast, but since we were supposed to travel back to Bangalore in just few days, or rather 2 days, I think, if I remember exactly. Yes, we were supposed to fly back the day after. So the doctor advised temporary support using a crepe bandage and asked me to continue treatment after reaching Bangalore. He also gave me the necessary medicines and a letter explaining the diagnosis and treatment for the doctor back home. I walked out of the consultation room and saw my wife and daughter waiting and saw the relief in their eyes. By then, Ram also had reached the hospital. I paid the hospital bill. I thought the adventure was finally over on a New Year day, but there was one more surprise waiting outside. A representative from Sentosa was waiting at the hospital to check my condition. He asked me, "Sir, are you okay?" Then he asked about the hospital bill. I told him I already have paid it. His immediate response was, "Why did you pay, sir?" He explained that Sentosa would take care of the medical expenses. Since I had already paid the bill, he told me that I could submit it to the Sentosa office and claim a reimbursement. I appreciated the gesture, but with our return journey approaching, I didn't pursue immediately. So 2 days later, we returned back to Bangalore. About 3 months later, I traveled back to Singapore again for a training program, and I remembered the hospital bill. So during that trip, I visited Sentosa office with the required documents, and they honored what they had promised. I received the reimbursement check for my hospital expenses. 3 months had passed. I was not demanding it. Nobody was forcing them, but the commitment was still honored, and that left an even stronger impression on me. So, few lessons. Lesson 1: accept your own mistake. The first lesson was about myself. Nobody forced me to ride faster. The first successful ride made me overconfident. I took unnecessary risk. So, I had no hesitation in telling the officer it was my mistake. Taking responsibility for our actions is very important. But what happened next taught me even bigger lessons. The second lesson was, again, shared responsibility. The officer at Sentosa did not say, "You fell and that's your problem." Instead, he looked at from another perspective. Did their system respond correctly after I fell down? Was appropriate first aid provided? Was the injured guest taken care of? So he looked at the protocol that was supposed to have been handled. And that's when I understood something important. Personal responsibility and organizational responsibility can coexist, and I should accept responsibility for my fall, while the organization could accept responsibility for how it responded afterwards. Lesson 3: good systems don't wait to be asked. I did not demand an ambulance. I did not ask Sentosa to send someone to the hospital. I did not ask them to reimburse my bill either. They initiated those actions, and that's what impressed me. A good system does not always wait for the affected person to complain. It recognizes what needs to be done and acts responsibly. Lesson 4: hospitality is more than courtesy. We often associate hospitality with a good smile, a warm welcome, good food, comfortable service. But that evening taught me a deeper meaning of hospitality. Hospitality is also something like, you entered our space, and while you are here, your well-being matters to us. And that's why the officer's words stayed with me. "Sir, you are our guest." He wasn't simply being polite, his actions demonstrated what those words really meant. And lesson 5: accountability ends with action. Perhaps the strongest lesson came to me after 3 months. It was easy to say, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." But accountability isn't measured by what we say at the moment of crisis. It's measured by what we actually do later. So 3 months later, Sentosa honored my commitment, and that taught me responsibility acknowledges the problem, accountability follows through until it is resolved. So responsibility says we care, accountability proves it through the action. I went to Sentosa that evening expecting to watch a spectacular show. I came back with a fractured wrist and also with some life lessons that is staying with me till date. Take responsibility for your mistakes, take care of people interested to you, and when you make a promise, follow through. Until next time, stay responsible, stay accountable, take care of people around you. If this episode resonates with you, share it with someone you truly care. This is your host Ravindra Murthy. Thank you for joining me today. Take a breath, take it slow, and remember, bliss begins